Hey, you guys. This was a kind of a special interview, so I hope you enjoy it. It was an interview with a pro wrestler. Right now, she goes by the name of KIDD BANDIT. So I hope you enjoy the interview and leave a comment. Thank you so much, and we will see you. Hello.
Hi. I am so glad we can finally make this happen. I know we had to reschedule a bunch.
Yes, we did, but we finally got it.
Yes. Do you want my phone to be upright or do you want it portrait mode?
Um, it's it's up to you.
Okay. Here, I'll do it this way.
Oh,
No.
if it works.
It works. Okay, it's not working.
Yeah,
Sorry. Well, I guess we're stuck with one way. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's fine, it's fine. So, first of all, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Of course. I'm glad we're finally able to.
Yeah. So the first question is, how did you get into the whole wrestling business?
Oh, video games.
Really?
Funny enough, I I guess like I only had one game for a
Okay.
while, and it was a SmackDown 2 Know Your Role for the PS1. So like,
Okay.
I played it nonstop. I knew all the moves because like, I wasn't really watching a lot of wrestling like then, but I
Mhm.
was playing the games. And then eventually I was able to like catch up on like pro wrestling and like TV and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, my introduction for towards wrestling was more video game oriented than it is like, seeing it on TV.
And so, how did you find a school or gym to train?
Um, when I was in Los Angeles, it was literally just a Google search. I was like, I want to be a pro wrestler, so I googled like, what's a good pro wrestling school in LA. But then COVID happened, so our
Yeah.
school had to shut down for a brief moment. When the pandemic and COVID restrictions were getting lifted all across the nation, California was unfortunately one of the states that took forever to like
Yeah.
revert back to normalcy. So I started looking into like attending a pro wrestling school out of state. I discovered that Cody was opening a school in Georgia. So what me and my best friend Ish Melvon, we both moved to Georgia for a bit to like train under Cody Rhodes, and that's how I was also trained by the Nightmare Factory and stuff. And actually, I debuted with them in Georgia. So great memories.
Wow. So you're telling me that you were trained by Cody Rhodes also?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. That is that's fantastic.
Yes. What a wonderful coach Cody is. Definitely one of the most well traveled and well versed in the art of wrestling
Yeah.
as far as like people goes in the business, because he grew up in the business. He's been to Japan, he's done the indies, he's also had like WWE run that ranges from like multiple gimmicks to like being a world champion in the modern
Okay.
era, being kind of like the face of the company as far as like PR, and like, not only that, but like he also has experience with running a company
Yeah.
with AEW as like the executive vice president, one of the founding fathers of that company.
Mhm.
So like a multifaceted like man for sure, as far as like everything that goes on in the business. And like I couldn't be any more honored to be able to like say that I'm one of his students, because like I study a lot of Cody, like from the way that he operates behind the scenes to like and I'd honestly be like, sometimes I would text him like, hey, can I get advice on running a wrestling show? Can I get advice on like reaching out to like who I need to talk to about like being on being getting my company on like in front of like the right people to like invest it, like
Yeah. Sure.
pretty in-depth business stuff, that like,
Yeah. Sure.
yeah.
So tell me about your experience in the Nightmare Factory. Is it that hard?
No. Not at all. It was actually so chill. Like, I mean, we had like couple hiccups here and there involving with some people in their drama, but like that had nothing to do with us. Like, you know, like me, my experience, it was a breeze. I ate good like southern food, enjoyed the sights around Georgia, like, and then I got to train in like a world class facility. It was like summer camp, but like on steroids. Like, it was awesome, you know.
Yeah.
Like if I could do it again, I would. Like, yeah, it was amazing.
So, while you were in the non factory, who was the other students there?
Like there were campers from the first two camps that were
Mhm.
present that they basically like moved to Georgia. We didn't plan on moving to Georgia. We were
Okay.
just there for the duration of our camp. There were some AEW stars that were like training there at the time that were
Mhm.
like, always present. There was Jade Cargill was there. Like, yeah,
Okay.
like, yes, that was cool.
Man.
So yeah, like, and I know the factory also often brings in guests like speakers and stuff. So like, it didn't happen from my camp, but I know like John Cena showed up at one point. CM Punk showed up at one point.
Really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah, like, oh, I should probably not be saying. Oh no, they posted these. They posted these on their social media. Okay, I can talk about it. But yeah.
Yeah. What about Cody Rhodes' older brother, Dustin? Was he
So
there?
actually no, but I know Dustin does run I believe Rhodes Wrestling Association over in, I want to say, Dallas, Texas. Or I know it's in Texas somewhere. Yeah, so Dustin has his own thing going.
Okay. No. So, where did the name Kid Bandit come from?
King of the Hill.
I love that show.
Yeah. The bandit part at least came from the episode where Bobby Hill was talking to a raccoon and he named it Bandit and was like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's my name." He was naming
Okay.
me. Yes.
That's cool. Uh, so, what other companies have you worked for or tried out for?
Well, I definitely feel my career trajectory has made me more of a freelance operator more than
Okay.
most. I don't necessarily have a company that I could like, call a home company, like a
Hmm.
home base, because I mostly work like as like someone that like kind of floats around here and
Right.
there making appearances. There are some companies that I'm pretty happy to like, be a consistent part of. Like, I've been I recently did a tour for 01 in Japan. So like, and I was
Okay.
representing their company and their brand everywhere. So like, yeah. And then I was also representing GCW for like the brunch and stuff. So like, and like I do get brought in for a couple of shows, which I have a GCW show coming up in April. I'm doing two of them. So
Wow. Okay.
so like as far as like companies go, like
Hmm.
as tryouts, like I don't really think that's on my future. I do form my own companies though. Like every once in a while, I
Oh,
start my
really?
own thing. So yeah.
Cool. Cool. So you have worked in other countries too,
That's right.
like Japan. What other countries have you been to for wrestling?
Ooh, Canada,
Okay.
Paris, or France, Germany,
Dang.
uh England or Europe or frick, United Kingdom, sorry. Philippines. I was able to wrestle in the Philippines. I'm so happy about that. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So yeah, these are, pretty happy to be able to say I'm world traveled. So, you know.
Where's your favorite place to wrestle?
Oh, favorite place to wrestle? Um shoot. Believe, see, I know the name. I know the name of the place, but I can't remember the name of the event. Trying to think. Mondo Lucha. Okay, Mondo Lucha. I
Okay.
believe they run in like the Midwest. I'm blanking on where though. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. I forgot.
Okay.
Hold on. I can't believe I'm forgetting this. It's been a while, and they haven't like ever since came back from injury, we haven't been able to like talk work again.
Okay.
But Milwaukee, there you go.
Oh,
They're in Milwaukee.
okay.
Yeah, I was right. I was right. Okay. So yes, I was. Yeah, Mondo Lucha is like the most fun for me. I look forward to those shows all the time.
That's cool. So can you tell me? You worked in Japan. You worked in France. What are the different kind of styles for each country, or are they different?
Um. Yeah. So I want to say that even extends further than just different countries. Like you in America, like I feel like there's a certain way different states in America prefer their
Mhm.
wrestling. Like different companies, different audiences. Really, in Japan, I think the most consistent thing about wrestling is like the way the crowds perceive the sport. There's like obviously like in Japan, like sometimes like I do shows where the audience is not necessarily a wrestling audience, so you're able to like do very I want to say like wrestling, like pro American style pro wrestling a little bit, but you go towards like shows in front of like a Japanese audience that's like aware of what wrestling is, then like or like big fans of wrestling, then like a lot of like the strategy like that you want to cultivate like a reaction to is through like fighting spirit, like instead of like the heel face dynamic that's popular in America. In Europe it's very um a lot of the flair and the flash of like American like spectacle wrestling is also present in like England, but there is also like an emphasis on like cleanliness of technique, ability to like perform under pressure, like all that stuff. Like it's very much celebrated the in the UK as it is like in the States. I do appreciate how loud and how chanty the crowd is in Europe, like but I've been fortunate enough to perform in front of like thousands of people over the last few years, and um, just navigating what kind of like match type this an audience would want to like see is like part of like the appeal of wrestling to me, because like now you're kind of like a chameleon, you're figuring out what is the best way to adapt myself in order to entertain an audience in one country or over the other, and that type of stuff, and it's all happening like in real time. Like you don't really get weeks of planning for this. Like you're planning it the day of, so I think that's like something worth noting.
And I saw a couple of your matches. It seems like you're really into the martial arts also. So
Hmm.
when did you start taking martial arts and stuff like that?
I started fairly young with praying mantis kung fu. I did boxing as well.
Okay.
That would be like, I don't even remember, like when I was like 10 maybe. All right. and,
Wow.
and and then like it was like a consistent thing. I always wanted to be a pro wrestler though, but like pro wrestling training isn't really quite as accessible as like just martial arts training in
Yeah.
general. But when I finally became a wrestler, I do tap into a lot of like the martial arts background that I have.
Mhm. It seems like you love to watch anime. So, what's your favorite anime?
um right there. Yeah,
Okay.
Trigun's my favorite anime.
Okay. Nice. So you've been in the wrestling business for a while now. Are you do you like to be a baby face more, or do you like to be a heel?
You know what? I love being a heel. I love being a heel, but I never get the chance to, cause
Really?
yeah, like or rather, every iteration of me as a heel isn't like a serious heel. It's
Right.
always like a goofy heel, a very goofy heel, a heel that like just is stupid, like like it's a mischievous, like but when I do get the opportunity to play like a serious heel that's
Mhm.
like that it like seriously considers themselves to be a threat, like I jump on that chance because it's like it's not a role I often get.
Uh,
Like most of the time I'm either a baby face, which like look, I can do that. Like I, like people want to like chant and scream for me like to like win, like hell yeah, I'm good for it. But but getting the crowd to dislike me and getting paid to do it, like sign me up, sign me up. Yeah.
so what is more difficult to get the reaction of the crowd? Be a heel or a baby face?
Like, so I will say this. I guess like in certain areas where I do have like the like ability to portray a heel character, but the
Mhm.
audience is familiar with me. Typically, what happens is like they boo me, but like that's because they're going along with booing me.
Yeah,
Like they're like, oh, she's supposed to be the heel. We gotta boo her, But they don't really want to, So I think like getting a genuine like dislike for a wrestler
yeah,
is so difficult to do when like you as a person can be divorced to like that character that you're portraying. Um so yeah, but like I I really enjoy being a heel. Like I feel like if my job is to get them to boo me, I will do my best. Like to get them to like dislike me at least for like the next like 10 minutes. So like
I mean, I did interview other wrestlers, so all of them say they love being a heel. I don't know why.
yeah, there's not a lot of like jobs in the world where you get paid for being an asshole. So I'm sorry,
No,
pardon
no,
my
no, it's
French.
okay, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, okay. So, like, how long do you plan to be in the business? How long would you like to wrestle for?
Not that long actually. I think I'm nearing my end of the career.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but not. I'm not leaving wrestling. Like I think that I have an equal passion for like behind the scenes stuff, like
Okay,
production, promotion, putting booking shows. Like these are things I very highly enjoy, as well
okay.
as performing as a wrestler myself. I definitely feel like the industry that we're in is like my calling, and
Mm-hmm.
all I want to do is like work it. So in whatever capacity like I find myself in like in the future, I'm very much it's still going to be around wrestling no matter what. i'm hoping
Okay.
it I'm hoping one day it'll be like in the video game world. So we'll see.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And the final question is, I ask everybody, if you could, who would you put on the Mount Rushmore of the independent scene?
mm, Mount Rushmore of the independents. I definitely think let's see, Super Dragon.
Okay.
Mm, Let me think. So Super Dragon definitely. Uh, hmm. This is a pretty good question. I'm trying to make sure I do it people justice. Oh, Cardona.
Okay, Macaroni.
Yeah, Matt Cardona. Like specifically because like all the social media stuff like that
Oh,
started because of Cardona. Cardona rebuilt himself in the indies, and
yes,
like
he
he had a
did.
generational indie run for sure.
God.
I think just knew how to be a self marketed person.
Yeah.
Like that, I think like people need to study elite like the Mac Cardona formula of like brand management, because like the way he went about it, it was like he made himself a big deal like every time he was anywhere, and he made sure to profit off being that
Oh
big
yeah.
deal. It was like it was incessantly like relentless, like the way he approached it, and like, but it was also like it was working. You know, like I think that you know, I follow the macrodona freaking blueprint. I just go about it like very differently to like fit my brand.
Yeah.
But like like studying Cardona's social media work, you know, um studying like how he used YouTube, like
Mhm.
you know, like all the stuff outside of wrestling that he incorporates into wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's very
That's very
very
good.
integral as like as in like independent wrestlers who are basically like influencers as well, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, independence. See, I'm trying to make sure it's like folks that aren't like well, I guess like in Cardona's case, like he's back on SmackDown, but like like
Yeah.
what he did in like the modern
Yeah.
age
Yeah.
is really
What he
such
did.
like
Yeah.
worth the spot. Yeah. Um, let's see. Uh, Honestly, I would put the next two as like El Generico and Kevin Steen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like just because like I genuinely believe like El Generico, wherever El Generico is now, like you know, I'm so like I know my Mount Rushmore is like very PWG, but I'm in California, so like I'm allowed to be biased. But
Yeah.
like I believe that El Generico at one point was like the best babyface in the world, and I believe that Kevin Steen was like the best
Yeah.
heel in
Yeah.
the world,
That's true. Yeah.
and like the way that they just worked was like magic. So so it'll be Super Dragon for PWG, Sammy. Or I'm sorry, not Sammy. Who's Sammy? Sammy. Well, why are we talking about Sami Zayn? El Generico as like the baby face of like the Indies. Kevin Steen is the heel of the Indies, and Matt Cardona because of like how marketing yourself and like as like a brand like really influenced a lot of like how I operated. You know.
Man. Well, I just want to say thank you once again for the opportunity. I had a blast talking to you, and I hope we can do it again.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
I will send you a link when this goes up.
Okay. Sounds good. I am so sorry. Like I couldn't like turn the phone. like, I was
No,
like,
no, no, no. It's okay. Is there anything you want to plug?
oh yeah, like you know, Kid Bandit here. Please follow me on social media. Kid Bandit Pro at everything. Except for TikTok. That one's only Kid Bandit. That being
Okay.
said, be safe, have fun at like your day. Thank you for like tuning into this interview, and party on, dudes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
You as well. Thank you. And I'm so happy this finally like this interview happened after like so many reschedules.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
Thank you so much for your patience.
Oh, no, no. Thank you to you to doing this. So,
Yeah, of course. This is fun. Like you actually had me thinking like who is my Mount Rushmore? Like cuz I would get the I would get the question like, "Oh, who's your wrestling Mount Rushmore?" It's like that's simple. But like in the indies it's like, "You know what? Who in my opinion has affected the
yeah.
indies a lot?" Like, you know, that was a very good question, I think. I really had a good time. Thank you.
Thank you to you. I'll see you later.
See you later. Take care. Bye.